First of all, before I get started, I have a windsock on my mic. I can't help the wind noise. I don't know what more I can do about it. I know it aggravates a lot of people, but it's just part of life. But speaking of that, boy, I tell you, it's chilly today. The temperature is actually right around freezing, so it's not that cold. Chickens are coming out and playing, having a good time, and the water's not freezing. Everything's doing great, but man, it's cold out here. Oh, I did my video from my other channel a little while ago, and it takes about a half hour to record that video. Oh, my ears were numb and my hands were numb. I'll put a link to that other video at the end of this video. It'll be a box right next to my face. Just go ahead and click it. I'd appreciate you check it out. So today I'm just gonna do my chores like I've been doing this winter. It's been kind of nice not having to do a lot this winter. Last year, of course, I was building a tiny house. I was always busy and I just never had time to do anything to enjoy the place. But this year I really got to enjoy it. So I'm gonna fill the water tank and I'm gonna split a few pieces of logs. The reason I got to split the logs is I want to test them. Not all the wood is completely dry. You know, I want that 20% or less. Not all of it, some of it's around 23%. So I've been checking every piece just to make sure I don't get any creosote in the chimney. And it's worked out pretty good. A little extra work, but it's worth it. I'm gonna start the generator here, get old Cranky started up. I take the side off. I've told you this before. I know you may have seen me do all this before, but it seems sometimes that when I do videos over again, they get better views than they did the first time. So, but I'm gonna take the side off. She's just real old, and running that well pump just about beyond what she can do anymore. So I take the side off, and then I open up the air filter here cover. I think you can see that. That way it gets plenty of oxygen, plenty of air. And then I let it warm up. In the cold, it just doesn't want to go. Okay, now I'm going to go up and hook up the hose to the well. Hopefully the hose isn't frozen. Last time I did this, the hose was frozen. Not the hose, the water filters. I got 3 water filters on there. You've seen that before. And they're frozen, so I had to take them inside and let them thaw out. It's kind of an all-day project once I got into it. But I tell you, the tank itself hasn't froze. The plumbing hasn't froze, so all that stuff has worked out fantastic. Now, another thing I've been doing is I've been wrapping on the windy days like this, wrapping the tarp up around it. That way the wind, because the wind is coming from behind me right now from the north, and it blows into there and really cools it off. When I put that tarp over there, it helped out a lot. So I was asked the question, why don't I insulate the box? There it is. I'm surprised as many times I talk about this tank, how people just don't seem to understand the concept. It's such a basic, simple design. It's a tank, 250 gallon IBC tank, and I have an RV pump. Now, maybe that's the confusion, I don't know. But the RV pump pumps water into the house. I have ventilation over here from inside the house. It's gonna be hard to see, but there's ventilation coming from inside the house into the tank that blows hot air into here. And it works absolutely fantastic. It just works. So I gotta get this hose out. A while back, I told you this hose got cut. I showed you it was cut. And a lot of you said that it was probably frozen. It got too cold and broke. That's what it was. I ended up having to throw that one away. I had an extra one laying around, but these hoses are expensive. These are RV hoses. And what it is they don't transfer all those nasty chemicals that regular garden hoses transfer. If you drink from a regular garden hose, you'll taste all those chemicals. And since this is our main drinking supply, I thought I'd just use RV hoses. They're expensive. So these are the filters, and that's what froze 2 days ago. So the other day I was telling you how this well I have rigged up where it won't freeze. So I have a hole in this pipe right here, about 30 feet down. I drill a hole into it. And so what happens is when I shut the well off, the generator, the water will fall back down into the pipe, and that way this doesn't freeze. Well, my problem is when I hook the hose up to the well here, if the generator dies, then it sucks the dirty water from the filter on the hose over there back into the well. And I don't want that to happen. But I didn't have much choice. Well, Eric sent me an Amazon link. I didn't even know they made these. I know they make check valves. There's a check valve actually down there above the well that keeps water from going back into the well pump. But I didn't know they made check valves for hoses. And so Eric sent me an email with a link showing me if I put a check valve right here, that it'll keep the water, if the generator were to die, keep the water from backflowing through this nozzle. That way I can still keep my design so the water will backflow and keep from freezing, but it won't backflow dirty water. Okay, so now we're going to go down, we're going to plug the well pump into the generator, see if it will run it. It's a little warmer today, although the wind doesn't feel like it, but it's a little warmer, so the generator should do okay. We'll see. Okay, so it worked. I'm having a little problem with my selfie stick. It's one of those gyroscope ones where it keeps everything level, but it's acting up. I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, well, I'm back up here. The gyroscope thing is acting like it's overheated, but as cold as it is out here, I wouldn't think. So I had some technical difficulties, and I'm going to leave those technical difficulties into this. The selfie stick, which like I said is a gyro thing, it keeps everything balanced. I can move and the camera stays straight. Now I have a GoPro that does that, but in order for that to work properly, I have to shrink the screen size. So I used the selfie stick with the GoPro and everything stays balanced, except it was acting like it was overheating, which I can't imagine in these temperatures. It's so cold out. The hose is not frozen, everything worked out fine. Trying to multitask so I don't have to spend much more time out here than necessary. I'm gonna come over here and split some wood to get some onto the porch so it'll dry out. Now, like I said, a lot of this is not dry, but I got all this walnut down here that I can start pulling out. You can see the walnut, it's kind of a brownish tinge. So that walnut dries out in 6 months or so, whereas the oak will take a year to two. It's getting up to 2 years on this oak, so it should be getting dry pretty soon. And some of it I can split, like this. I guess this one here might be oak. That's oak there. I'll test those and see if they are dry. It just rained and snowed, so I may have some problems trying to find any. Gotta get all the scrap off here. You can kind of feel by the weight whether it's going to be dry or not. It's pretty obvious. So I don't have to split every piece. The thinner the piece, the smaller the piece, the more likely it's going to be dry. There, that piece I can tell is dry. So here you should be able to see 17.7%. So that's dry. So right off the bat, I started finding dry pieces. Now I'm surprised by that piece. That was walnut, and that's extremely wet. That's 26%. Wow. So the water's full now. So we'll get the generator shut off here. It's overflowing actually. I don't like getting it that full because it dilutes the chlorine I put in. And the amount of time it took me to fill the tank, which was 100 gallons, say 5 gallons a minute, so what, 20 minutes maybe? about 2 days worth of firewood, split and checked for the wood stove. Really didn't take much effort, and I checked every piece and only had one piece that failed the 20% test. So pretty good. Most of it's walnut, a couple pieces of oak. I'd rather have the oak for the really cold days and the walnut like days today where it's not that cold. Well, the gyroscope, the selfie stick was just giving me too many troubles, so I came in and charged it up. It wasn't needing charge, but it seems like maybe it's working better. We'll see. By the time this video is over, I'm sure I'll find out by then. But when I came in to charge it up, Carolyn said she was cold, which is very odd for Carolyn. I'm always cold before she is, but of course I came in from outside. So she asked me to start the fire. So got the fire starter for her, got the selfie stick charged. So now we can go back outside and finish up what we were doing. I was almost done anyways, but it just wouldn't cooperate. So like I was saying, I got to switch that well faucet over so I don't suck up dirty water from those air filters. And I was so frustrated with the selfie stick that I forgot. So Eric, having told me to get that check valve so it doesn't suck back, that's going to be a big help. So what I'll do is I'll flush out the well to get that dirt out of there. Now I don't know where I left off at, so if I'm repeating myself, just hang in there for me. I appreciate it. So this is probably 2 days worth of wood here, and so it only took me what, 20 minutes to get that chopped up and tested. Every piece now is tested to make sure that it's 20% or less. And I'm telling you, we just haven't touched that much firewood this year. So if you'll check out that video here, I'd appreciate it. It's to my other channel. Give it a try, see if you like it. So I hope I can inspire you to have chores you can do anytime when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.